They're saying that minorities will want to get even with white people once white people become a racial minority here in the United States. Here's the thing that white people don't understand. All non-white people want is to be left alone.
I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to The Resistance. I've been trying for a while now to figure out how to talk about something that's been on my mind, and recent events, I think, finally pushed it up. What I want to say is that racism is a white people problem. A white people problem that others are forced to live with. As a white man, I've never had to be afraid of being pulled over by the cops. As a white father, I've never had to have that special talk with my kids about not looking wrong or saying the wrong thing to a cop for fear that they wouldn't come home again. I've never had to worry about being turned down for a mortgage because of the color of my skin or where to go jogging. Never had to worry that I could be scooped up by ICE just for looking like I might belong to the wrong group, even though I was born here. I've never committed the misdemeanor crime of selling cigarettes. But if I did, it wouldn't be a capital offense. These are things that people of color have to deal with every stinking day. These are things that white people allow, that white people cause. I think I'm finally ready to talk about it now because of the state that our country's in, the permission that Donald Trump has given for racist behavior, and the hope I recently felt when I saw the latest poll numbers. For reasons that never made sense to me, Donald Trump has gained support in nearly every demographic when he won his last election, including non-white communities. But now, recent polling suggests that just about everybody is finally seeing him for what he is. They're seeing his racism, and the racism emanating from this administration like stink from a skunk. And they're saying it's not okay. He's lost everything that he gained, and then some, among all these groups. Well, every group except one. That one group is white, non-college educated men, the last stronghold of Trump's race-based politics. Polling indicates that a majority of this group is still standing solidly behind Trump and his policies. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be any better off under Trump's policies than anybody else. Maybe one day they'll realize that their racism isn't worth what they're losing. And maybe the rest of us will realize something too, that racism is a white people problem, and it's up to white people to solve it. It's up to white people to call it out among their coworkers, their friends, and their family. It's up to white people to be the loudest and proclaim that racism is no longer acceptable in American institutions. It's up to white people to make sure that we're not voting for the racists. Thanks for listening. Good day.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I hope you are all doing good. You know, discussions about race, identity and belonging have shaped the American story since its founding. In recent years, one particular question has resurfaced in public debate: the idea of maintaining a white majority in the United States. Why does this concept matter to some people? What fears or hopes does it reflect, and what does it tell us about the deeper social structures and historical narratives that continue to define the nation of America? That is why in this video I have decided to bring this sociological discussion whereby we are exploring why the idea of maintaining a white majority in the United States continues to surface in political, cultural, and demographic debates rather than promoting any racial hierarchy. This video analyzes the historical context, population trends, and social dynamics that have shaped conversations about identity and belonging in America. So guys, we'll look at how shifts in immigration, economics, and cultural power influences public perception and what these changes reveal about the nation's evolving understanding of race, privilege, and community. So guys, my goal is to encourage thoughtful evidence-based dialogue about demographic change and its impact on American society. So let's get into this video and get to hear what people are saying. Then I'll be coming back with more commentaries. In case of any thoughts, kindly feel free to let me know in the comment section.
Hey, white people, why does having a white majority in this country matter so much to you? We've definitely been able to determine that the reason why, I'm going to say all the policies, but all these executive orders, all of these ideas that are being put out by this administration, all are traced back to how can we keep a white majority in this country? If things stay the way that they are, if demographics continue to move in the direction that they are right now, by 2045, white people will no longer be the majority of this country. We will be less than 50% of the population. This terrifies most white people in this country. And my question is why? I truly don't understand why this is a problem. I don't understand why white people are willing to put humanity aside in order to strive to maintain the majority. So honestly, if you feel this way, that yes, white people must be the majority of the United States, tell me why. Enlighten me. I really don't understand. They're saying that minorities will want to get even with white people once white people become a racial minority here in the United States. Here's the thing that white people don't understand. All non-white people want is to be left alone. So as the white population starts to go down and other populations start to rise, again, non-white communities want to be left alone. It's not about retribution. It's not about vengeance. All of that would have happened a long time ago. It's about leave me alone and let me live my life. But white people have this great fear of what not being in power will mean for them. And who are they? Who am I as a white person if I am not in power, if I am not the oppressor, if I am not the one making all of the rules, and having everyone do things my way? That's the fear. So white people are normal people, and normal people want to keep on existing. This was in response to why does white people becoming a racial minority matter? Like, why are people so concerned about preserving the white race? I actually appreciate this comment because I feel like we're getting down more to the actual truth about why it's so such a panic among white America that our numbers are falling, and that soon, within 30 years, white people will be a racial minority in the United States, which just means that we won't be the majority. We'll be under 50%. And in my opinion, that is the reason why our country is in the state that we're in. All of this is in an attempt to preserve white America. So we're told here that it's only natural to want white people to live in a white nation. And I hear those words. I just don't understand the why is it important to you. A lot of people have said it's because as white people, we know how we've treated minorities in our country. And if now we're the minority, are we going to be treated that way? Yikes. And that, I think there's a lot of validity to that. But I also think there's a general fear and just lack of understanding of what life would be like if suddenly there were less white people. But the truth of the matter is, there are less white people. There's going to continue to be less white people. And in fact, all of our races globally are going to start to meld into one eventually. I mean, that will take a really long time. But all races are losing their purity, if we want to call it that. You just see it more clearly with white people, because once we mix with somebody, it's more evident. Particularly when the person that is being mixed with is of a darker skin tone. So there's a lot of fear. I'm still unclear about where the fear is coming from, though. So let's clarify that.
White people, let's talk about it. Let's talk about our violence. White violence. No more deflecting. No more blaming everything on everybody else. Let's confront ourselves. White people in America, our history is so extremely violent. And instead of confronting that, we continue to blame other people for the issues and the problems in this country, instead of just taking ownership of our part to play in everything, which is a huge part. Can we stop scapegoating other groups of people, please, and just look at ourselves? White people, it's time to talk about it. Like, it's long past time. Getting rid of other groups of people in this country is not going to make this country better. It's not going to make your life better. It's not going to make you better. I think white people are so scared to talk about race and to talk about white violence and white supremacy because they don't want to connect themselves to it. We don't want to feel like we're a part of the problem. But unless you're acknowledging the reality of how the US, this country, runs, you are a part of the problem. I truly believe in my heart, in my soul, that if you're born a white person in this country or on this planet, but I'll just speak about this country, part of that journey is to dismantle systems that have been built to oppress other people. The hard work of life is to confront yourself. How do I benefit from the way that things are? And how does my benefiting from those things harm other people? And instead of walking around with, 1,000-pound bag of shame on your back, consider it your responsibility to do that work. Consider it an opportunity that you are in the best possible position to make this world a better place by not accepting racist and prejudiced and oppressive systems for what they are and trying to contribute to changing them. Use the privilege that you have for good. I don't think that anybody can ever really love themselves without being honest about themselves, without being honest with themselves. And that work is painful and hard, but it's so worth it. White people, you don't have to consciously think that you're better than other people in order to contribute to harm against them. All it takes to contribute to harm is to stay silent and disengaged. White people, can we finally get this shit right? Can we finally take accountability? Can we finally look ourselves in the mirror and decide that this isn't good enough? We're not doing a good enough job. You aren't losing because somebody else is safe and cared for. You aren't losing because somebody different than you exists. White people, let's talk about it. Let's start having these conversations with ourselves and with each other. It's time.
The single greatest threat to America right now is white supremacy. And we need to stop acting like it's black people or brown people or immigrants. The average empire lasts 250 years, and let's fucking face it, America is an empire. It's a series of states and territories controlled under a single president or authority. Yes, we have checks and balances. Yes, we have our other system. But the point being, America is on the verge of collapse. And it's because it was built on a system that was never meant to sustain it. It was built on forced labor, kidnapping, violence to maintain the social order. If we want to improve what we have and actually preserve the country that we have, we need to literally completely eradicate white supremacy. As an ideology, it is so dangerous, so harmful, and that is where so many hate crimes stem from. The craziest thing is even realizing how many mass shootings and other mass acts of violence stem from white supremacy and hatred. That's why it irritates me how many politicians on the right, and honestly liberal politicians, are like, we need to be tough on crime, we need to be tough on crime. This is an ideology issue. This is an education issue, and it's the result of a system that allows white people to act however they want without consequence. And we need to start treating white supremacy like the real fucking threat that it is.
White people used unspeakable violence to conquer and enslave and colonize and imperialize, and then only expect us to fight back through debate and through conversation, because debate and conversation does not change the structures that are already in place. That's why white people get so excited about, ooh, let's follow Charlie Kirk and debate, because everyone in this situation gets to not only keep the structure in place, but make money off of the current structure. If any white person here was like, I want to go see Charlie Kirk, and when he says something sideways, I'm going to bop him, just a loving little bop, it would fix a lot of things. When I was in 6th grade, there was a bully on the bus. She was a terrorist. She would spit on kids. She would say horrific things to people. So one day she called me ching chong small dick. And instead of debating her, I took her own fist and punched her out. And I said, I know where your bus takes you. And if you ever make fun of any of us again, I know which window is yours. And she never bullied anyone again. But debating would not have solved.
Did you know that by the year 2045, white people are expected to become a minority in America? Yes, and this is all due to the fact that the number of people of color in America is rapidly rising while the number of white people in America is declining. By the year 2045, the number of white people in America is expected to drop to 49%. That is less than half, while Hispanics, black people, Asian, people who identify as multiracial, and other are expected to rise up to more than half. Currently, the number one spot for people of color in America is taken by Hispanics/Latinos, which in 2020 made up for 62.1 million of the total American population. Followed by black people, which in 2020 made up about 38.9 million of the total American population. So it is believed by many that someday in the future, people who identify as Hispanics/Latinos might be the most present people in the whole United States. However, Hispanics being the majority will not be the first time this ever happens, because back in 2003, Hispanics broke the record and made Hispanic/Latino the biggest minority in the whole United States, outnumbering the number of African Americans/black people in America.
Do you even as an immigrant here want Haiti to become the majority in this country?
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
Why would you be concerned of the dispossession? And you are saying what?
Don't we all live in America? Whites, blacks, Asians. Why would you be so concerned that power, you're not going to have it anymore just because of what?
I think we would take away the Trump part. A president is not going to stop the dispossession of white America. But I think the central thing in this argument they had was that the white gentleman is concerned that with the rate of birth, and many people have said this, that there will come a time, if it's not slowed down, there will be the dispossession of white America. And he went on to say, the reason I'm concerned is because then my children would have no legacy and culture left in this country. And I don't see anything wrong at all with what he's saying. So they say when a tree falls into a river, it doesn't become a fish. Now, I'm a naturalized American, but I'm not going to say that I'm an American. I'm American politically, but not culturally. White people, the founding fathers of this country, were of the same uniform background, WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. They have a culture, a religion, a language, a history, and they want to protect it. This is the home of their children. This is what they built for their children, and you came in as a guest. The guest will never take over a house. Never happen. Number two, I really would support the white man, okay, for the dispossession of white, as he's saying, because you see, he's trying to protect you and I. Because if this country falls into the hands, the majority of the wrong people, whatever attracts us to come here will be gone, and we will never be able to come here anymore.
Saying that immigrants wouldn't be able to sustain America or sustain civilization. Is that what you're saying? That
I'm
we don't have the capacity to do
Well,
that?
I'm not saying it, I'm only describing it. Have you taken a look at Haiti recently? Would you, even as an immigrant here, want Haiti to become the majority in this country?
I mean,
Have you taken a look at some of
Haiti
the
has
African countries, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and all these countries that are flopping to come to this country? If they could maintain where they are to look like this place, then they wouldn't be flocking here, right? So the point the gentleman is making actually is in my interest, in the interest of people from outside who should still have an America they can come to.
But you're only describing developing countries, right? You talked about Haiti, you talked about Somalia, you're talking about other developing countries.
Well, you can see undertone what he's saying. He will be
Well, he also mentioned Middle Easterns. He also
yes, exactly.
He doesn't like he doesn't appreciate, I guess, Asians, Middle Easterns, blacks,
yes,
or anybody who's not white. So
that
you're saying
dispossess his race. Yes,
saying that because immigrants are coming into this country, that they wouldn't be able to maintain the white picket fence, the greenery. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, to that, and I don't have to look very far away at all. Have you taken a look at any black neighborhood in America recently, starting with Boston, starting with Detroit?
I understand those are cities that are failing.
Exactly. Now, imagine.
So blaming it on the black people, we're not putting responsibility or accountability on the city or anything like that.
A city is made up of those people. A city is only with people that live in it. A place is only as good as the people who live in it.
As we continue watching, guys, we are examining why some groups emphasize maintaining a white majority in the United States. The challenges, the myths, the fears, and the ideologies behind that belief. Through data, the history, and expert commentary, we are here unpacking how these ideas spread, their social impact, and why diversity and inclusion strengthen the nation. Yes, so, that's what's happening, and we are here covering the roots of racial majority narratives, the demographic shifts and the US Census data, the political and media framing of race and identity, the sociology of fear, change and belonging, and the future of multiculturalism in America. All these are being spoken about by the speakers in this video. So that is why I found it so much helpful to share with you people, so that I can also get your comments. Let me know your comments in the comment section.
Your skin's not white. White supremacy is lying to you for the purpose of human cruelty. Your skin isn't white. My skin isn't black. And I know that may sound, I'm not talking from some kumbaya, we all just need to come together to get along. I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about the basis of white supremacy is to get you so comfortable with lies that it's just part of your everyday. So you're walking around calling me black, but this is black. This is not black. But you're so comfortable with this lie of white supremacy that if your skin can become a color, and your color that can then become a race, and then your race can then become a tool for the government. The basis of white supremacy is getting society so comfortable with living in lies that they can justify human cruelty. Because human cruelty is the antithesis of being human. Again, you're the only country in the world that debates school shootings. There's no debate for school shootings, but Americans do, because the basis of white supremacy is to say that this is black, your skin is white, and that matters. Donald Trump is doing everything he's doing because he's white, not because he's rich, not because he's a man, because he's white. Other wealthy men would not be able to do this, but he's white. And the United States of America has no defense against whiteness. And until you do, this gets worse.
White people. There are 334 million Americans living in this country based on the last census. 210 million of those 334 million people are white people. Morning, people. How are you guys doing? Hopefully each and every one of you are doing well and you're still standing as Babylon is falling. White people, 210 million people in this country is you. That is 61% of the population is you. 14% of this population is black people. 14% of this population are immigrants. But yet still, they tell you that black people and people that don't look like you are taken from you. You have all the opportunities. You have all the privilege. You have every way and means to make it happen for yourself. Why didn't you make it happen? And then now they turn around and tell you that the people at the bottom is taken from you who are at the top. How can you be upset at the people who are at the bottom when you are at the top? The people at the bottom struggled to be successful. Why aren't you successful? Now that Snap is exposing the truth. Now you're finally getting it. That it was never about your race. It was always about the money. It was never about who is black, who is white. It was about them stealing from you because you are the majority of the population. They were taken from you, or they have been taken from you and telling you it's the black people, it's the Hispanics, it's the immigrants, it's the this one, blaming it on everybody else. But you are not watching who is stealing from you. And this is one of the reasons why Lyndon B. Johnson said, if you want to make a white man, I'm just paraphrasing, feel better about himself, tell him that he's better than basically the lower class, the black people down at the bottom. And they use that and have been stealing from you for years, for centuries now, basically. But because you think it was about your race. But now, as I said, everything is being exposed. So now you're seeing that they have been robbing you like everybody else. And even the rich white people who voted for this, it's like you guys don't think. And that is the problem. Greed will always eat its own self. You think that you're going to put somebody in office because of tax breaks, thinking that if you crush the small man at the bottom, you're going to stay at the top, not realizing that if you take away your foundation, the people that keep you wealthy, you will not have wealth anymore, because when it comes crashing down, because it's a system, you are going to come down too. Only thing that is going to take you longer to get to the ground. Greed will always eat itself. And we are watching the revelation happening for you to all realize it's all about money, power. And nobody's exempt from it if you basically, at the end of the day, don't see the whole play. See, what did Nebuchadnezzar say? Only, basically what he said, smart people do not like me. So basically he's been calling you white people because, as I said, majority of the country is you. So he's been calling you stupid all this time. And now you get to see when you're about to, if they cut that Snap off, who is going to be very hungry. People that live up in Tennessee, in those Appalachian mountains, y'all are going to be hungry. But you said, I voted for this. Remember, you voted for them to take out 14% of the population when you are 61% of the population. You are 61%. 210 million of white people live in this country. And you are fighting against the people that live at the bottom. That means that there's 100 and something million people underneath you. And you're finding excuse of why you are not successful, of why you are not achieving like those 100 people behind underneath you are doing. Because they told you that your enemy, not looking at the people that are stealing your pocket right in your face. Anyway, I hope that you just open your eyes to let you know it was never about race.
Oh yes guys, we have come to the conclusion of this video, and to understand this conversation we need to look at history. From the very beginning, the United States identified itself as a melting point, but that metaphor often came with limits. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, immigration policies like the Chinese Exclusion Act and the Immigration Act of 1924 were designed to preserve a white European majority. For much of the United States history, whiteness was not only a racial category, it was also a form of citizenship privilege, defining who was seen as truly American. This racial hierarchy was reinforced through laws, through housing policies, and social norms. But over the past 50 years, the racial makeup of the country has shifted dramatically through immigration, through intermarriage and generational change, reshaping what America looks like and how people imagine its future. So according to census projections, no single racial group will make up a majority of the United States population within the next few decades. This shift has prompted both optimism and anxiety. For some, it represents the realization of America's promise, a nation defined by diversity and inclusion. For others, it raises fears about cultural loss, economic displacement, or political change. Yes, sociologists describe these reactions as part of what is known as status threat, the perception that one's group is losing social dominance or influence. These feelings often emerge not from direct harm but from the experience of rapid social transformation. In modern politics, demographic change has become a powerful symbol. Some narratives frame it as a replacement or a loss of identity, while others celebrate it as progress towards equality. But beneath the rhetoric lies a more complex reality. Societies are constantly evolving. Cultures mix, adapt, and redefine themselves. The challenge is not whether change happens, but how societies respond to it. Understanding this dynamic requires empathy and a willingness to see demographic change not as a zero-sum game, but as a social process that shapes everyone's future. Yes, and so why does the idea of maintaining a white majority matter to some people? In sociological terms, it reflects deeper questions about belonging, identity, and control. So when social hierarchies shift, people accustomed to privilege may feel uncertainty even if their material conditions remain stable. At the same time, marginalized groups continue to navigate barriers to full inclusion. These intersecting experiences create tension, but also opportunity, the chance to redefine what it means to share a national identity. The future of the United States will be shaped by how it confronts these realities. Diversity is not simply a demographic fact, it's a social strength. By understanding the fears and hopes tied to demographic change, we can build a society grounded in mutual respect rather than division. Ultimately, the question is not about preserving a racial majority. It's about preserving democratic values, equality, and a shared sense of purpose. Yes. So guys, what do you think about all this? Thank you for joining this sociological exploration. If you found this discussion valuable, consider subscribing for more deep dives into identity, culture, and social change, and share your thoughts respectfully in the comments, guys. Kindly give this video a thumbs up, like the video, share it for it to get to a wider audience, and also subscribe, hit that notification bell. And also, let me give credit to all the original creators of this video. Thank you so much. Of course, I love you all, and kindly let's meet in the next video. Peace be with you. Until next time, guys, may God bless you and continue blessing you. Kindly continue supporting this channel. Thank you. Be blessed and have a nice time. Peace be with you.